Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's story is Granny and Grandpa Pig's Day Out. It was a lovely sunny day. Peppa and George were at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house helping Grandpa Pig with his raspberry patch. Suddenly a little bird swooped down and stole a raspberry. "Hee, the birds like your raspberries, Grandpa," said Peppa.
"So do I," huffed Grandpa Pig. "Good job I'm here to make sure those pesky birds don't eat them all."
Just then Granny Pig came outside. "I've had a wonderful idea," she said. "Let's go camping." "Ooh," said Peppa and George.
"Good thinking, Granny Pig," said Grandpa Pig. "We can camp in the garden. I can keep my eyes on my raspberries that way."
"Actually, I thought we'd go to the beach," said Granny Pig. "We love the beach," cheered Peppa. "And that's not the best part," said Granny Pig mysteriously. Granny Pig led everyone to the shed. "I thought it would be fun to take this for the trip," she said, pulling off an old sheet. "It's a shiny red motorbike," said Peppa. "But what's that funny thing on the side?" "It's called a sidecar, Peppa," said Granny Pig. "You and George can sit in it." "Grandpa Pig and I went on lots of motorbiking adventures when we were younger," said Granny Pig. "We camped on mountains, in the jungle, and even on an iceberg." "Ooh," cried Peppa. "This is going to be so much fun." Soon everyone was packed and ready to set off. "It is very important to be safe when you're on a motorbike," said Granny Pig. "You must always wear a helmet." "I'm wearing a helmet and goggles," said Peppa. Granny Pig started the engine. "Brum, brum." "It's very loud," shouted Peppa. She began to sing. "Granny's motorbike goes brum, brum, brum all day long." When they arrived at the beach, Granny Pig said, "This looks like the perfect spot to camp." She pressed a button and boing! A tent popped out from the motorbike. "A magic tent!" cried Peppa. "Amazing!"
"Yes, Peppa," said Grandpa Pig, chuckling. "This motorbike has everything we need." "Even my raspberries," finished Grandpa Pig. He opened a special flap on the tent. "I'd like to see those pesky birds get at them now." Suddenly, oh dear, a cheeky seagull had spotted Grandpa Pig's raspberries. Perhaps it's time to explore the shore, children," said Granny Pig. When they reached the shore, Peppa and Granny Pig played in the water. Suddenly, Peppa spotted something on the sand. "What's that?" said Peppa. George lifted up a piece of rope. "Treasure!" "Sometimes things that were in the ocean wash up on the beach," explained Granny Pig. "Sea treasure!" cried Peppa. Peppa and George searched for more sea treasure. "Look, Granny," said Peppa, showing off some shiny shells. "How wonderful," said Granny Pig, smiling. But when another wave came in, more things washed up, and those things were not treasure. They were rubbish. "A plastic bottle," gasped Peppa. "And another, and another." "They must have been in the sea," said Granny Pig sadly. "They don't belong there." "Let's clean them up," said Peppa. Peppa and George picked up lots of bottles. "Oh," said Peppa, "this one has something inside." "It looks like a message," said Granny Pig, opening it. "Hello, my name is Little Reggie Rabbit. I am on holiday with my mummy and daddy," she read. "There's a telephone number," cried Peppa. "Can we ring it, please?" Granny Pig dialed the number and passed her phone to Peppa. "Hello," said a voice on the other end of the phone. "Grampy Rabbit speaking."
"Can we talk to Little Reggie Rabbit, please?" said Peppa.
"There isn't a little Reggie Rabbit here," replied Grampy Rabbit, "but there is a big Reggie Rabbit."
"Oh," sighed Peppa, "we found a message in a bottle from Little Reggie Rabbit."
"That was my message, Peppa," said Grampy Rabbit. "I threw it into the sea when I was very small."
"You must not throw things into the sea, Grampy Rabbit," Peppa gasped.
"I know that now," said Grampy Rabbit. "There is too much rubbish in the ocean. Thank you for clearing it up."
That's okay, said Peppa. We found lots of sea treasures too.
Sea treasures? Said Grampy Rabbit. Perhaps you can make something from what you picked up. I love recycling old junk into useful things.
After the phone call ended, Peppa, George and Granny Pig went back to the tent to see Grandpa Pig.
These cheeky seagulls won't leave my poor raspberries alone, he said. If only I had something to shoo them away with.
I know, said Peppa. We can use our sea treasures to make something to keep the birds away. Peppa, George, Granny and Grandpa Pig began to build a bird scarer. They used Peppa's shells, George's rope and all the bottles they had picked up on the beach. Soon the bird scarer was complete. The wind shakes the shells and bottles, explained Peppa, and the noise of them hitting together shoos the birds.
My raspberries are safe at last, cheered Grandpa Pig. Thank you, Peppa and George.
The next morning it was time to go home. Grandpa Pig packed his raspberry patch and the bird scarer too.
Next time we go camping, you'll have to find more sea treasures, he told Peppa and George. Then my whole garden will be safe.
Everyone laughed. Hee hee hee. Peppa loves sea treasures. Everyone loves sea treasures. Grandpa Pig's lawnmower. Peppa and George are playing in the garden with their ball. Come on, George, calls Peppa, throwing the ball up into the air. The ball lands in some long grass. Peppa and George go to find it. Peppa and George are having lots of fun, but where is the ball? The grass is too long, says Peppa. We'll never find it. Mummy Pig decides that it's time to cut the grass. We've let the garden get out of control, she says. Daddy Pig wheels out the lawnmower. It's a bit old and rusty, says Mummy Pig.
Nonsense,
says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig goes to push the lawnmower through the long grass, but it falls apart. Perhaps it's time to phone Grandpa Pig for help, says Mummy Pig. Grandpa Pig drives his motor mower over to Peppa's house. This is a job for Betsy, says Grandpa Pig. Betsy is the name of Grandpa Pig's motor mower. Toot toot. Betsy doesn't go very fast. They are slowing down the traffic. Grandpa Pig toots Betsy's horn proudly. Toot toot. Finally, Grandpa Pig arrives. He drives Betsy into Peppa's garden.
Hello, everyone. I hear there's some grass that needs cutting, says Grandpa Pig.
Hello, Betsy, says Peppa. Grandpa, please can we ride on Betsy?
Of course, says Grandpa Pig. Hop aboard.
Peppa and George climb up onto the motor mower next to Grandpa Pig.
Hold tight,
says Grandpa Pig. Together they drive into the long grass. Whoosh! Grandpa Pig is having lots of fun. Betsy is very good at cutting grass. Hee! Whee! Peppa and George are enjoying their ride. Grandpa, you've missed a bit, says Peppa.
Good spot, Peppa. What's that over there?
Says Grandpa Pig. Our ball, cheers Peppa. Hooray!
There you go, says Grandpa Pig. Cutting grass was easy with Betsy. Thank you for cutting our grass, Grandpa Pig, says Daddy Pig.
And thank you for finding our ball, Grandpa, says Peppa. Grandpa Pig's little train. Peppa and George are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. What's that noise? Asks Peppa. Grandpa's making a little toy train, says Granny Pig.
She is not a toy, says Grandpa Pig. This is Gertrude. She's a miniature locomotive.
Doesn't it need railway tracks to run on? Asks Granny Pig.
I've fitted Gertrude with car wheels so she can go anywhere she likes, says Grandpa Pig.
Please can we ride in Gertrude, Grandpa? Asks Peppa.
Of course, says Grandpa Pig. Hop aboard, children.
Peppa and George love Grandpa Pig's little train. Grandpa's little train goes choo-choo-choo, 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 all day long. And the piggies on the train go oink, 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 all day long, sings Peppa. They spot Danny and Grandad Dog ahead.
I see you're playing toy trains, calls Grandad Dog. Gertrude isn't a toy, shouts Grandpa Pig. How's your little lorry? My breakdown truck is a proper work vehicle, says Grandad Dog.
Grandpa Pig, please can I ride on the train? Asks Danny.
Of course, Danny,
says Grandpa Pig. Hop aboard. Miss Rabbit is driving the school bus. Hello, Peppa! All of Peppa's friends cry. Everyone wants to ride on Grandpa Pig's train. Can we ride on the train? Asks Zoe Zebra.
Of course, Zoe, says Grandpa Pig. Hop aboard.
Miss Rabbit decides to follow along behind. Peppa and her friends all sing together. Grandpa's little train goes choo-choo-choo all day long. Peppa points at the big muddy puddle in front of them. Look at all that mud, she cries. We don't want to get stuck. Maybe we should go a different way, asks Miss Rabbit.
Oh, it's only a patch of mud. Come on, Gertrude, you can make it, says Grandpa Pig.
Come on, bus, you can make it, says Miss Rabbit. Oh, bother, says Miss Rabbit. The bus is stuck in the mud. Grandad Dog appears. Can you rescue me, Grandad Dog? Asks Miss Rabbit.
Of course, my truck is strong enough, says Grandad Dog.
But it does not work.
We need a vehicle with more power, says Grandad Dog. Can I help, Miss Rabbit? Asks Grandpa Pig.
Yes, please. Your train can tow me out of the mud, says Miss Rabbit. Grandpa Pig attaches a tow rope between Gertrude and Miss Rabbit's bus.
Full steam,
shouts Grandpa Pig.
Come on, Gertrude, shouts Grandpa Pig.
Come on, Gertrude, shout the children. Gertrude pulls Miss Rabbit's bus out of the mud. Hooray! Everyone shouts. It's amazing what can be done with a toy train, says Miss Rabbit.
Gertrude isn't a toy, says Grandpa Pig.
Gertrude is the very best train in the whole world, says Peppa. And that's the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, click like and subscribe to see some more of my videos. Thanks, bye! Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to read a story about Grandpa Pig. This is called Grandpa Pig to the Rescue. Grandpa Pig is taking Peppa and George for a ride on his little train Gertrude.
Gertrude has rubber wheels so we don't have to go on train tracks, says Grandpa Pig.
I love Gertrude, says Peppa. Miss Rabbit is in her big train taking the grown-ups to work. Morning, Grandpa Pig, calls Miss Rabbit. Out on your toy train again?
Gertrude is not a toy. She is a miniature locomotive, says Grandpa Pig.
The big train is going very fast. It can go much faster than Gertrude. Oh no, the big train has broken down.
Gertrude catches up with Miss Rabbit's big train. "You need to get yourself a train that doesn't break down like Gertrude," says Grandpa Pig. "That's a good idea," says Miss Rabbit. "I'm borrowing your little train." "All change," calls Miss Rabbit. All the passengers climb into Gertrude and Grandpa Pig is left behind. Mrs. Cow is waiting for the train at the next station. "Has the train shrunk?" asks Mrs. Cow. "No, this is a toy train," says Miss Rabbit.
"Gertrude is not a toy train. She is a miniature locomotive,"
says Peppa. There is a traffic jam on the road, so Miss Rabbit takes a shortcut.
"Hello, ducks,"
calls Peppa as they ride past the duck pond. Gertrude might not be very fast, but at least she can ride on the grass. Gertrude crawls up the very steep hill.
"You can make it,"
cheer the passengers. Gertrude reaches the top of the hill very slowly. By the time she reaches the last station, it will be time for everyone to go home again. Back down the line, Grandpa Pig is trying to mend the big train. Grandpa Pig loves mending things. "So many interesting bits and bobs," says Grandpa Pig. But can he put them back together again? Finally, Gertrude reaches the station, and so does Grandpa Pig with the big train.
"You mended it," says Peppa.
"All change," calls Mr. Rabbit. Everyone gets in the big train ready to go home. "Off we go," says Miss Rabbit.
"Stop,"
cries Peppa.
"What about Gertrude? We can't leave her behind."
"Don't worry, we can take the toy train as well," says Miss Rabbit. She uses a crane to hoist Gertrude into the big train. "Gertrude is not a toy," says Grandpa Pig. "We know," says Miss Rabbit. "She's a miniature locomotive." Miss Rabbit drives all the passengers and Gertrude home. Everyone agrees that Gertrude is the best miniature locomotive in the whole world.
"Gertrude is the best train in the whole world,"
says Peppa. Grandpa Pig's boat. Before we start, why don't you click subscribe to see all my videos as soon as they're released? It's free. Grandpa Pig is taking Peppa and George out for a day on the river. "I'm the captain of this boat," says Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig, Peppa and George all salute Grandpa Pig.
"Aye, aye, Captain,"
they cry. "When I tell you all to do something, you must do it," says Grandpa Pig.
"Unless it is something silly,"
Granny Pig tells Peppa and George. Grandpa Pig frowns. "The captain never says anything silly." "Of course not, Captain," says Granny Pig, saluting. Everyone does what Grandpa Pig says. He asks George to raise the flag and Granny Pig to take the wheel. Then Grandpa Pig tells Peppa to ring the bell. Ding ding! Hee! Off they go! The boat speeds through the water. Granny Pig thinks they should go a bit slower. "Good idea, Granny Pig," says Grandpa Pig. "I don't want to use up all my petrol." Peppa spots another boat. It's Grandad Dog. He's taking Danny Dog out for a day on the river. Grandad Dog is Grandpa Pig's very best friend. "Oh, I'm surprised your boat is still afloat, Grandad Dog. It must be almost as old as you are," says Grandpa Pig. "This old boat can go faster than your rusty bucket any day," replies Grandad Dog. Grandpa Pig is not happy. He calls Grandad Dog a sea dog. Grandad Dog calls Grandpa Pig a water hog. "You are both acting like little children," cries Granny Pig. Peppa and George think this is funny. Grandpa Pig won't say sorry. Grandad Dog won't say sorry. They decide to race instead. Grandad Dog zooms off. "Catch me if you can, Water Hog," says Grandad Dog. Grandpa Pig is not happy. "See, Dog," shouts Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig overtakes Grandad Dog and leaves him far behind. "Can't catch me, oh," says Grandpa Pig. "I win." "Oh no, my boat has run out of petrol," cries Grandpa Pig. "Maybe I did go a bit too fast." "Maybe Grandad Dog can tow us home," suggests Granny Pig. "I do not want him to," says Grandpa Pig. "Oh, will you two ever grow up?" sighs Granny Pig. "Grandpa, say sorry to Grandad Dog," says Peppa. "Grandad, say sorry to Grandpa Pig," says Danny. Finally, they both say sorry. Grandad Dog is Grandpa Pig's very best friend. Grandad Dog tows Grandpa Pig's boat home. "The main thing is I won the race," Grandpa Pig says to Peppa. "Grandpa Pig," cries Granny Pig. "Silly Grandpa Pig." And that's the end of the story. Check back to see when I post the next one. Thanks. Bye.